Oh, there's a lot.
Warning. Seismic activity
A
increasing.
lot to
Evacuate
cover
to
there.
safe location.
Which we'll save it all for a little like final talk at the end. Because there's actually like I might just make like a little bonus episode for this one. Which is something I'm a little apprehensive on doing because I've never done a bonus episode for a series. And well, technically those DMC videos years later were bonuses. I was at that point no longer required to actually record and upload that footage since it had been a very, very long time since I did that series. But yeah, you know what? No. I'm gonna do a bonus episode. We're gonna do a little discussion on the ending, some of the extra information that kind of gets brought up through this, including the Okay, so really quickly, where's the? There it is. We're gonna take this opportunity to load up on our stuff again, just to make sure that we're full, make sure that we don't have any issues coming, because realistically, we don't have the need for those like we would normally. Get rid of that. I hate that they keep giving me that. I never use it. Get about 10,000 of that. Alright. Now, this is your last opportunity to save, so I would suggest doing so. Just because I feel like I missed a suit upgrade based on the fact that I have 4 empty slots. Alright, look at that, 300 points of damage. Damn, that's good. Alright. But yeah, like I said, this is your last opportunity to save. It also goes to show that I record these pretty late in the evening. Because like I started recording. Wow, look at that. Look at that debris.
Last warning, Isaac. I mean it.
Daniels!
Here.
The hive mind. Grab my hand!
Isaac, please.
I know!
Admittedly, to this day, I have no idea why Isaac laid down in this instance. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Look at that fucking perfectly marbled, meaty monstrosity.
Come on, then! 'Cause this is all I got left!
Alright. Luckily, because we have a fully upgraded plasma cutter, we're pretty in line to be able to take care of a good bit of this. Come on. Yep. That should only take about 2 per each. Basically, all you have to worry about is this thing doesn't have too many attacks. I think it has a laser, quote-unquote laser-like attack. It will do that, which leaves itself open to being shot in the face like a fucking dumb idiot. And it also has the spores, as I've never really come up with a name more specific than that. No, I'll take that. No, they're very, very generous with what they give you in this instance. That. It'd be a real dick move if the fucking hunter was actually alive and just like threw itself from atmosphere. Come on, you big piece of shit. Show me your weak point. This is the part that I hate, that it takes us a couple times to get it, to go about it. Yep, there it is, the acid spew. It will linger. You know what? In retrospect. Ooh, that was close. Damn. Oh. I might actually just cut this at the where I saved to be able to, oh god, ow. Why is it always to give myself a little bit more time and wiggle room? I might have been able to snag an extra one out of that. I think I'm gonna cut it at, oh, it's a little bit further over. Oh, you are. Down the middle. Yep, figured. I feel like I'm doing the fucking hokey pokey with the way I'm running back and forth like this. Alright, one more. Come on. God, his cries of anguish are so... like, they're so understandable because, like, the actor actually sounds like he's in fucking pain doing this. And I love it. Alright, that's the last of the organ sacs. Again, the fact that Isaac literally lives through getting thrown around like a ragdoll is so amazing. Shouldn't that be hurting us considering it was literally just burning us alive a minute ago? Alright, let's get the fuck off this planet.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry.
All right. Oh wow, you can like really push that. All right. Damn. Ah, yes, I was right. Advanced Soldiers Rig, level 6, the final suit upgrade. All right. Now we've unlocked New Game Plus. I'm gonna just run this along. No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to chop this into two. So, all right. For the sake of my own editing and saving myself some time, I'm gonna cut. We're gonna have a hard cut here, as to symbolize where I need to add things in. Also, I need a little bit of a break for a second. So, we'll be right back. Okay, and we are back. So basically, what we're going to be doing while I run through the intro. God damn it! What I'm going to be doing while we go through the start of this is basically kind of recapping and summarizing some information, because apparently, and I didn't know this, it is a lost. It's an unused file that I was thinking of from Dead Space 1, the original 2008 iteration. Basically, what we lost was the backstory logs talking about how unitology came to be created, and the and that kind of stuff. And it's kind of weird in the nature of it, because I was able to find it. A very long text log, actually, because regardless of the fact that it's not included in the game, it is mentioned that the writer for this game, Joe Barry, has indicated that it's still valid. Like this is still a part of the world of the game. Also, apparently, because I'm looking at the transcript for it, excerpts from The False Messiah, a book banned on Earth and most colonies. So this really goes to show like how one, dangerous this information was about the markers, because the one we find in this game is a red marker. But I believe the one they found on Earth was a black marker. But here, this is what we're gonna do. So while we go through this, I'll read a few fucking whatever the word is. So, in this book, it starts off with, a religion is born. When Michael Altman went public with his research on the black marker, the world was teetering on the brink of self-destruction. Many people, myself included, felt civilization was at an end. We couldn't change the world by ourselves, and most of us didn't want to. What Altman offered us, this chance at a rebirth for humanity, was exactly what our hungry, empty souls were looking for. Practically overnight. I think it's really funny that I can kind of do this out of the corner of my eye. Practically overnight. So, practically overnight, our hope for humanity was renewed. The way it slots off. Even when Altman was forced into hiding, allegedly for fear of the government, for the fear of the government's retaliation, his accolades, Stephen and Markov. Those are some fucking names. Risked everything to bring his word into the light. His book sold out within hours. Millions flocked to our conferences, where we were taught the greater truth of the marker. We stared in awe at the evidence of this alien artifact that would. Oh god, this part. There it is. We stared in awe at the evidence of this alien artifact that would change everything. And we did what whatever Altman, through his acolytes, told us. We rallied against the government, whose oppression kept our profit from us. We joined together in congratulations to share his word, and we prepared ourselves for the future he said was coming. Where were you when Michael Altman was assassinated by our government? It's the question of our generation. I suppose it's certainly the day when everything changed for me and the world. ... A revolution. The martyring of the scientist turned savior Michael Altman begat financial zealots. And I was one of them. Who would be outraged by the image of his broken, brutalized body, as if a clean death wasn't enough? Who wouldn't be moved by the stoic Markov struggling on the verge of tears during his eulogy? In those terrible days, we birthed and maintained the tenets of our new religion, now known as the Church of Unitology. I was only a follower, but I was suddenly part of a bigger social movement in history. The riots that followed and the crippling of our government on colony after colony made me realize we had power to change things. And no one knows exactly what is contained in the black marker. Some claim it contains the genetic string that grants immortality through gene therapy. Others say it contains the DNA of alien life forms. Even Altman confessed to not knowing exactly what it was for. Altman's insight, drawn from the marker, were used to form the basic doctrines of the church, as claimed in the popular book, Death is Only the Beginning. Humans will learn that by death of their worldly spirit, they will be reborn in unity as a stronger, unending community. Whole and divine, they call it convergence, ... is forbidden. Death is an important event in the journey of unitology and seen as a necessary step to being reborn. The body is considered holy and it may not be cremated or be allowed to decay in the ground. The bodies of the faithful are given to the church for safekeeping. Where they are taken is unknown, but I have seen massive unitology compounds on all the major settlements I have visited. Curious, I asked around, no one would tell me what was housed inside, but I uncovered evidence of massive shipments of preservative chemicals being sent to the compounds on a regular basis. It was around this time that my superior, Paragon Fontenay, brought me in for my first soul cleansing. ... Many. Despite the headaches and nausea that continued to plague me, I managed to sneak into the shipyard. I had almost regained full function of my legs and was able to make it into what appeared to be the nerve center of the operation. What I discovered were ships, massive ships, and lots of them. Stasis storage tubes lined with hundreds of exposed cargo bays. I couldn't see any of the bodies, but I knew what the tubes were for. What I couldn't figure out was why the church needed to transport so many suspended bodies in what looked like deep space vessels. Before I could investigate further, I was recaptured and the real soul cleansing began. Thus is the Unitology Exposed text document that can be found in the original 2008 game and not in the 2023 remake. Unfortunately, the writer of this chapter is unknown in both versions. The difference is, though, as weird as it is, you get this text document in chapter 12 in the base game as a, I believe, a New Game Plus deal. Wow, that was a lot of reading and something I'm not wholly used to. Yeah, I find that as a whole to be very interesting because there are some overlaps with a real-world religious fanatical group called Scientology. I'm amazed with how easy some of these enemies go down. But yeah, they do have a lot of overlapping parallels, and even one Wooly Versus had pointed it out, and pretty much everybody who's played this game who knows anything about Scientology is willing to draw those comparisons, because let's be honest, it kind of is what it is. I feel like the writers were kind of making fun of it in its own way, but, you know, that's what creative work is for. But yeah, so, that, I find that to be really interesting as a generalized notion, you know, that Altman, who was a part of the initial, where the fuck do I need to click? Ah, right, that way. Where Altman himself was a part of the government research team who found it and just was no, people need to know about this. If they don't, there's a good chance that this shit's gonna happen again. And, you know, God, lo and behold, he was right. It did happen again because humanity decided that it was a better idea to, instead of destroying the evidence of the marker, destroying the markers themselves and destroying, and destroying the red marker that they had reverse engineered and created, instead of taking that shit into space and hiding it because it's oh, we need a testing ground for our potential weapon. Wow, that one dropped. Kind of fucking stupid, if you ask me. Also, I apologize because I've been talking for a while on this notion, on this entire subject matter. But yeah, it really does just kind of boil down into yes, this is a much larger issue because that's what it is. The marker and everything really does span because realistically, when you go through the other games and you just kind of realize this isn't just a localized Earth government Earth colony type problem. This goes on to span multiple planets in multiple different galaxies across the entire known universe. What? You're on a fucking space station orbiting Saturn in 2, and they're and some jackass is yes, we need to recreate the marker. We must do this. Yes, so says Altman. All hail the marker. Followed up by the fact that you find this alien thing and you see that it's causing psychosis in people and it's causing them to, literally everyone, to go crazy when they interact with this fucking thing. You would think at a certain point, maybe destroy it, maybe just completely eradicate it. When you look at things retrospectively and rationally, the decision making of Earth government, wow, there's one per encounter at this point, was just very, very poor. And it kind of cracks me up in a way that it's this is almost for sure how our real world equivalent government would handle the entire thing, which is equal parts sad to realize and kind of funny in a writing perspective, you know? Like, what are you gonna do at that point? Like, you can't do anything to prevent it once this information's out, because you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people that would have to go suddenly missing. There we go. But you know what? That's just kind of how it worked out in this game, and it's not a great way that it worked out in the first place. I'm also really hoping we get to that fucking to a shop soon, because I would love to get to show off that new armor. But yeah, like, it's so wild. And that's not even to mention, like, the fact that all the unitologists at this point have been watching this shit go down, and it's like a bunch of them, probably, I'd wager to say a pretty good majority of them, went fanatical and was just like, yes, this is the promised time. We must make the end times happen. We must make convergence happen. You know, with the fucking religious fervor and zealous that they have. And it's fucking wild to think about. But the fact that, I don't even know if it was like, I don't know the full details on this, but either Altman, we can go by the book, and I'm gonna actually say I'm gonna be skeptical on this. I'd probably say that one of his two followers from the Church of Unitology probably killed him, just to kind of cover it up and keep the religion going, because they're like, oh, we're making fucking hand over fist for money. Like, it's a total, like, it, in part, like, what's the phrase? It's great being a cult leader, but it's better being a cultist, because, like, as a cult leader, you get to make all that fucking money. You get to do whatever you want. Like, these people believe you just forever. And you can tell them any lie. Like, there was a cult that managed to convince their followers, like, you don't need food, just water and sunlight, and you'll live forever. You know? I don't know the name of it, and I'm not gonna bother putting it up on screen because I don't give a shit. And then it got found out that the fucking leader was just eating food in another room while capitalizing on all the fucking money. You know, cults are crazy. Like, legitimately, they're an absolutely fucking crazy thing. Because when people are desperate enough at any point in time, they'll believe in anything. It's the honest truth. Like, it's just what it is. Like, yeah, no, like, that's really how it is. And I'm moving away from that topic because I'm kind of harping on it a little too long, but the fact that, like, the marker is, I almost feel that the marker is a little bit alive, or at least, like, whatever it's transmitting is alive in that capacity, because it was actively able to distort Isaac and Cross's perception of who they were looking at, and it only made sense, like, when you looked outside of it. Because, like, Daniel's caught on because she could see Cross as Cross and Isaac as Isaac, where on the other end, Isaac saw Nicole and Cross saw Temple. And it's just like, it's genuinely, oh, my headphones died, whatever. And it's genuinely just like one of these things that you can kind of, like, you can kind of make sense of it, but not fully, because it's not a literal thing that we get to look at and see and experience, you know? But yeah, so, like, what was I saying? But yeah, so look at that thing. That's fucking sick as shit. I'm pretty sure that's what the fucking Valor soldiers were wearing. Fuck, what else was there? There's always more to talk about with this game. But we'll probably start trying to wrap this up in a second here. Yeah, level 6 stuff. Wow, really? Just more fucking kinetic damage? And that's disappointing. disappointing. Huh. Whatever. Alright, yeah. But basically, like, as I, like, going back to the other thing is, like, that thing that we see, because I really don't need that up. That we fight at the end of the game isn't even, like, the final form of what's going on in, is not even the final form of, like, the necromorphs as a whole, because they do literally, they turn into a space-faring monstrosity called a Brother Moon. It's fucking insane. They're super cool and terrifying, and basically the way this series ends is on the notion that everything's fucked. Like, that's how bad it is. You know? Yeah, here it is. I wanted to look over this before anything else. Oh, so this is like an active... Okay, so this was an active, like, watching what happens to people when they lose it, like when they start turning into necromorphs. That's kind of cool. But yeah, like this series is like the true encompassing, like, notion of eldritch horror. Because what do you mean that there is a age-old, like, time in memoriam construct that can send out a wave to awaken like, it sends out a fucking wave through the air, like radio static, that drives people crazy, and then compels them to make a marker that makes things worse, that reveals the necromorphs and causes infection on scale that is untold time and space and memoriam and everything. It's fucking crazy. Like, it actually is. But it's so cool when you think about it. Oh my god. Like, there's just so much to say on this game that it's not easy to make this short. Like, that's it. That's all I got. Like, I'm out of things to say. I've read the thing. This game's fucking bonkers, and I hope you guys look forward to, like, the next game in the next Let's Play, because I'm definitely going to be taking a step back from horror and kind of going into something a little more mellow. Definitely still a bit stressful depending on what we do, but definitely more mellow. But yeah, thank you everybody so much for tuning in today. It means a lot that you guys decided to stop in, see what I was up to, and hopefully I'll get to see you in the next one. Bye.